Welcome to the Mom Collective. I'm Celeste Howard here with my Mom Collective friends, Rowena, Pamela, and Liz. And we are on episode 5. Our topic today is going to be, we're calling it a SWOT analysis for those of you that have worked in the past. We're talking about our strengths, our weaknesses, and then different opportunities to use our strengths and different, techniques? What is T? I totally forgot already.
Threats. Just kind of an intense word.
So I'm going to dive right into the threats for our weaknesses. So not that y'all ever know the time of day that we were recording, but we were recording bright and early because we had some technical difficulties last time we were on. And I am not a morning person at all. Like, I wish that I was. My entire life, I tried to be a morning person. Like, even in college, I remember that I took 4 night classes one year because I couldn't get up in the morning because I knew I would not pass a class. And so it might be a little rough, but and even having kids, like I remember I would pack a little, like in their crib, I would put a little bowl of Cheerios and like a bottle of water. And then as I got older, the bottom shelf of the fridge would have little like,
these are good tips. Actually, really good tips.
Little prepackaged things. And
pro mommy tips.
This was back before like any on demand, but I would go to sleep and I would leave the TV on the channel they were allowed to watch. So I could just be not necessary in the morning.
This is amazing. Write this down, ladies.
I knew that I had
how to survive the morning.
Yeah. And I have a chair that everyone knows if mom is still in her chair, she's having her time and quiet time. So anyway.
That's amazing because I feel like ever since having kids, I feel like my best times, the times that I'm most creative and maybe most inspired is at like 5 o'clock in the morning when the house
and I admire that.
Dark, the house is still, and I can take my
prayer
prayer journal out and I can can't do like a whole rosary, but maybe just do like an Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory Be. And I like my best ideas come alive when the house is totally still.
I love how different everybody is.
So I'm actually like you, Celeste, not a morning person by nature. But in this season, I'm so happy in the morning. So I'm so grateful we're here. I'm sorry, Celeste. Bright and early.
It's your fault. No, you're good.
I combine all you people.
Oh, that's so great.
I'm technically not a morning person, but I've taught myself to be a morning person.
There's hope. There's hope.
Because I admire the productivity of people in the morning. So I want, and like you, I'm more awake if I can get out of bed. So I've just taught myself to be a morning person.
So do you work out in the mornings?
Of course.
Does that help?
I'm tired by the afternoon.
Give the audience tips. Give us some tips,
That's why I
please.
work out in the morning, because you have all the endorphins and then you can move forward and get things. I binge in the morning. If you look at my Aura ring, I mean, my most productive time is.
Do you guys all have one of those?
I need to get one because they swear by it.
Pregnant.
They swear by it. So yes, I need to get one.
Told me that I had COVID. Just so,
yeah.
So I get as much work as I can get done in the morning, and then I relax. So I kind of combine all you.
Extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so great.
I love it.
So I guess let's just jump right into topic. I know, like in the Perspectives program that we've done, you go through with like, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And then I don't know if you all have seen those charts before, but from your strengths, what are opportunities? How can you use them? And from your weaknesses, figure out what some of your threats are and make just a plan of action for them. The transition into motherhood, I think, was very frustrating in that ability to use your strength. Kind of highlighted all of your weaknesses and you didn't really have any techniques for them yet. And then all of your strengths that you knew and you were familiar with, you couldn't really use. I don't know if that rings true, but and I feel like most every mom has thought when they're up in the middle of the night and they're tired during the day, or they're filling sippy cups for the millionth time, or changing the millionth diaper, or doing laundry, or helping kids not fight over a toy, that you just kind of think, I'm better than this. I can do more than this. You almost like want to leave your current job. You want to leave the house to be able to feel good about yourself and to feel like I am a competent, successful person. And so I think I just want us to talk about like, how can you sort of transform your strengths into your current sphere of influence in your current world. So, for example, I know it was really hard for me. And I just remember watching the clock go by, like using up all of my tricks and all of my activities and things I could think of for the day, and it would be like 10:30.
I know this so well.
Really?
Page out of my diary.
Like,
Are you
honey,
passing
can you
it?
please come home
Was a
for
slow
lunch?
torture.
And that's a phase. Then you're going to hit the warp speed phase. And then things will slow down again. But I remember thinking early on, not only this is going to be a long road to motherhood because I don't like being pregnant. I am not a natural with babies. And then I can't talk to these kids when they're toddlers really in a way they understand, and liking to organize events and activities and things like that. Like, I just need to wait 10 years. That's a long
road.
jail sentence.
Those were actually my thoughts when my son was born. Is I can't wait for you to grow up a little bit. I can't wait. It's sad because I kind of looking back, miss, but I was like, I just need you to get out of the stage.
Yeah.
For the reasons you said.
And that's where I think the challenge is just to look a little wider. I couldn't organize necessarily a 6-month-old activities and have a deep, meaningful conversation with him about the meaning of life. But that's the point at which, because I was struggling so much for fellowship, and I think we talked about this in previous episodes, what do you do when you want a mommy tribe or like need people around or things like that? And a lot of times you don't find it. Like, I went to my local church, I didn't find it. I went to the neighborhood league or something, and it was all nannies. Or I tried to these different play groups. And build it, they will come. Like, everybody, what the things that you want, it's on the heart of at least half the people out there, and that's another thing we're trying to talk about is your struggle is you're not the only one in the struggle. You're not the only one in the desire. Like, those are put on your heart by the Lord and for different temperaments. So at that point, I remember probably 2 years in and just thinking, I really desire fellowship. I desire that conversation. I wasn't finding it. And so I just started a prayer group, and we've talked about this before, and it's been going on for 25 years. And I just basically said, I'm getting donuts Saturday morning, people come over, and it's evolved and it's changed. But I think you have to just be creative with the space. Have you all done that at all? Like, what are some things that you might think, oh, I was so good at this? Like, I know, Rowena, you worked for a while in.
I did.
Yeah,
I worked. So public relations and marketing is kind of my bread and butter coming out of college and early into marriage. About 3 years into marriage, I decided to resign from corporate America to be a stay-at-home wife and mom. I wasn't pregnant at the time, but we were hoping that transition out of corporate life would, the Lord would have it, and I would become pregnant. So life happens, miracles happen. We had our first child, and just like you, was at home with this baby, not able to have profound conversations, the meaning of life, or my faith, all this kind of stuff. So, it actually wasn't when I had my first two sons who are 17 months apart. I would say the darkest parts of motherhood was not being able to relate to these babies. Mm-hmm. And because of the work that I had done previously, in corporate America, PR work actually came to me. And I was so desperate to take these strengths, these abilities, this professional network I've amassed from being in corporate communications for just 3 years. I said yes to the most ridiculous PR jobs. As a mom of 2 kids under the age of 2. Yeah. I did PR for a nightclub in Dallas.
When you had babies?
When I had 2 babies.
Okay.
When I had 2 babies. And it was a contract thing.
Did you ever bring them with you?
I mean, I did not. I went to meetings. We had weekly meetings with the staff of this ultra nice nightclub once a week, and in between feedings and all this. Yeah, I would go to the meetings, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday was at the club.
Hey, I've seen baby showers at these clubs.
But I mean, it's exactly. I was so desperate to take these strengths, and I wasn't utilizing them at home.
Yeah, to be productive.
Just to be productive. And I mean, I don't regret it. I'm embarrassed by it.
No.
But I was so desperate to take the strength and find the opportunities to actually. And for me, it was just being home and not able to tap into that professional world with the babies.
You said something about being embarrassed about it. If you had to do it again with the knowledge that you have and knowing what the home can look like, what your sphere of influence is, what would you have done, or what do you do now? How would you have answered that? like you.
My number one advice is, especially for moms who maybe feel unnatural being like domestic and being with these little ones, is find the opportunities to volunteer and serve. I mean, and if you are,
There's
whether
a
it's a
lot of
church
need there.
community, your kids' school community, or just a neighborhood community, if there are things that you can, like, I don't know, there's something about being in the thick of serving a mission, especially when you have certain gifts and talents, whether it's, hosting, organizing events,
Right.
PR marketing, getting the word out.
Interesting.
Sales, say you're really sociable. I mean, just being with like a committee of people, again, unified
There's
in a
such
shared mission.
Large nonprofit group. I remember that's reminded me. I totally forgot. You all would have to Google search this, but there are online search engines that connect you with your strengths and your things that you like with local nonprofits and events that are happening. You could hand out water at the Dallas 5K. You could, like just different
That's exactly
things,
what
or
I'm talking about.
work at the library, or you could work at the zoo. I have people that started being like not candy stripers. I don't call them that anymore.
Right,
but
just like helping in the
volunteering at
hospital to sit with a patient.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically where you are in your life in early motherhood with 2 kids and you're really craving that adult interaction or just anything outside. I look at whatever mission or whatever church or whatever kind of way that you still use those gifts and talents, and kind of serve as an outlet for you.
Yeah.
My best advice.
I know there's a million of these like strength finders and all of that type of things.
Yeah.
And I remember we had hired, my company had hired a guy and we did one with me. And I remember he was like, you are so unique because you are ultra competitive, but you're also very empathic. So he was like, this is a good sales.
Yeah.
And I'll always, I've done those, through college and everything all the time, but that one just stuck out because it was like that moment you have where you're like, I think God's speaking through someone about what my gifts and talents are. So that's really hard because how do you channel competitiveness and achievement to this baby? There's no, you're alone. There's no, I gotta compete with a 1-month-old. There's no like outlet for that. And so what I started to do now looking back is I started pouring my identity almost into that. Like, how good are my kids going to be? Because that's going to represent me. It's like now looking back, almost like an idolization, which I think a lot of us can fall into that trap because now I'm like, my identity is how good my kid is and turns out. And so I became almost like over perfectionist, which would happen in other areas, but it worked because in sports, if you're a perfectionist, that's good. In sales, you're prepared. Like that's good. Here,
but in motherhood,
you go crazy.
A much different situation.
And you're never going to win that game.
Yeah. And there's a relationship.
No, you're not. No.
And it's not because it's not just a skill, it's a relationship. And I think you can't form a good relationship with your kids or with yourself as their identity as a mom if it's a list of things to accomplish or tasks or things to do better, stronger.
Yes. Yeah. So that was, and still is a struggle for me.
And I'm sure so many moms who are probably listening or will listen
and I
completely feel the
heart,
same.
This is what I want to do. Because I toy and go back and forth. But so something you kind of shed light on recently, I've been listening. I heard a phenomenal podcast, and it brought to my attention that this role of like where mom just is only with kids is actually modern. Because back in the day, businesses and the whole thing was a family unit. Like dad had a trade. This is what was going on for thousands of years. And I think like this was, I don't know, for me, it was fascinating. Had a trade and mom was involved in that too. And dad like would hunt and so help with dinner and mom would like all of this stuff and only did this whole like bye dad, he leaves house and mom does everything domestic is actually modern.
Yes.
It's not a traditional view. And so it's funny because my husband then left his, career of like, I don't even know, 20, 30, I don't even know years and started his own business. And just last night we were for the 18th time talking about it. And I realized his struggles are a lot of my strengths. And so I'm realizing, and then I heard this message that was new. So I'm like, it's to your point, your skills aren't just at work and they don't have to be just with how am I nursing a baby at 3 a.m. There's so much gifts you can give your family as a unit. And we just need to think outside of the box and what we've been taught for so long leading up to this point by culture, by, I don't know, certain family values we come from or whatever. So that's just kind of something I've been realizing recently.
As you were talking, it also made me think of, I don't think we ever have a singular identity.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's good.
changes.
Yeah. So I was thinking through a couple of things when you were talking about in the past, you weren't alone in your house, whether you were having to farm or like take all the kids outside with you to do something, or you would have your mom and sister down the street and your aunt across the street. Like this isolation.
It definitely takes a village.
The isolation is a new thing. I think that isolation is
very
isolating. Because if your whole family was there, you're still Aunt so-and-so. You could have these older kids to talk to. It's not just you and the babies. Or you're still having to help plow the field. I mean, I know that everyone wasn't a farmer, but
same idea.
There was more things to do. So, but it also struck me that some of the struggle of, coming into motherhood is my identity was a salesperson. It was a student.
Have a label.
Really good.
Always
it
a label.
It's corporate
of what you did,
but then,
how you performed,
right? Guys, I don't know that it's fair to say my only identity is a mom.
Right.
Yeah, because it's not.
It's
not.
Yeah, it's very important, and it's important. It's worth the focus because you need to shift it to being as important as other things, not a side thing. You have kids, but I think that when you put all of your identity into one thing, that's a lot of pressure. Even if you're saying my only identity is being a wife, well, then I think you experience failure constantly because you see all the things you're not doing, or you have this disordered pressure on your husband to fill everything because your identity is a wife. But just the vocation aspect of this, like our identity first is being a daughter of Christ,
love a daughter of the King.
That's what I was.
It's true.
Yeah.
When we wake up with that, or go to sleep with that as the last thought in our mind, but then I think like you have that purpose and to be useful in whatever event comes up in your day. It's not a matter of how do I make this little human being fulfill me all day long and fill my time, because I don't know that it's supposed to. I don't know. I haven't thought about that, but like how much it's just that the tendency to have such a singular focus of identity, and we're just adding, as you become a mom, you're adding motherhood. But like Liz, I know we've talked about that where it was such a struggle for me to claim my identity as mother and to really lean into that and not try to like say, oh, back when I didn't have to stay home or do this, I was so fabulous. But then I
it's totally my script
like
for me too. That's why I'm laughing.
Last 27 years I've been a mom and I've loved it, and now I had this identity struggle, and we can delve into that a little more another time, but of now my main role isn't mom.
No, it's not.
And I'm like, I feel like I have no purpose.
That
And I
is
remember
so
the days that I
fascinating.
used to be fabulous. I used to be a fabulous mom, and now
Isn't that
where
so
is
interesting?
everybody?
That is so interesting.
I know you've done that, and then how have you used those strengths to?
I'm so eager to hear.
Because
it's the same idea.
I was very, very fortunate when I had my first child. I went through exactly what all you did. It's like, what have I done? But I went looking. So I was very lucky to have, I lived in Southern California with perfect weather, right? And I lived in a neighborhood with a big park in the middle of it. So I thought, well, I'm bored. I'm going to go look. So I'd go to the park every day. And I had a group of friends at the park. Every single day we'd be there. Our kids would play for hours and hours. And then that translated into we'd go over to each other's houses. The kids would swim. They'd play. I was very comfortable with letting my kids go, even at a very young age, 3 years old, going to their houses and coming back. So I wasn't content to sit in the house and overthink this. And I used to be this, but I'm not. My energy was, I'm bored. I'm going to go find it. I'm going to go find a solution.
That's amazing.
Build it.
It is. And so even when I moved to Texas and the weather wasn't so great, I did go to, I tried to go to the park.
It is hard.
And I'm like, where's
3 months of the year you can be outside.
Nobody's at the park.
It melted.
Everybody, we can't survive without the air conditioning.
It is. And it was so, and I was actually disturbed by that. But very quickly, my oldest, when we moved, was in kindergarten. So we created a play group with these moms in the class, found each other. And 28 years later, we're still friends. When I went to dinner the other night, it was with those women. And we've stayed friends the whole time. Sweet. And again, it translated immediately into then our kids would go to each other's houses and swim and play. And so I wasn't content to just sit at home and say, woe's me. I'm going to go find a solution to this. Then I went looking for purpose. Where can I make myself purposeful in this world? And it was volunteering. It was, I've advocated for foster kids for 10 years. This
beautiful.
I'm a master gardener, but that's not what you think.
Did you say master gardener?
I am.
Oh, I need you in my
I've seen
house.
pictures. I've seen pictures. She is she's not only a horticulturist, she's like a landscaper.
Oh,
I've seen pictures of her backyard. It looks like the Arboretum. It really does, like the Dallas Arboretum. And it's just her backyard.
About master gardeners, their role is to go into the community and beautify your community. So if your library,
my community needs some help.
well, that you have master gardeners in Irving, right? So if your library needs landscape done in the front, then you go in and do it for them. Or if your strength is to go teach kids about gardening, so it's not what you think. The purpose of a master gardener is to educate the community. So I went looking for purpose is what I did.
That's awesome. That's a good reminder.
That is.
Yeah. And so that's just,
And
again,
it's still
because
giving you fruit 28 years later, you said?
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That
yeah,
one move.
It does.
Or that one effort, right?
Yeah. And then I had time now. I did it when the kids were young to be more engaged in the church. I have time now to volunteer for the church. I have time to do whatever anybody asks me to do. And I love it. I actually really, really love it.
It's beautiful.
So,
And to your point, I mean, I know, so Liz and I see each other a lot at the
do.
church. We all go to the same church and we see a lot of each other because we're both serving and giving, offering of our time for the Lord, of course. But it's been a few years since I've even been in corporate America. My oldest son is 14 now. It's been just, 15 years since I was in corporate America. But anything I do outside of the home really is to serve a mission, build the church.
correct.
And I've never been more in demand than I am.
Wow.
I
Never have been more in demand.
Yeah.
Whether it's something paid or something voluntary, like as a missionary staff person.
So your purpose was like magnified
Yeah.
when you gave it back to the Lord.
Literally to where I'm like, okay, Lord, I hear you, I see you, like literally every minute of my day. And there's so much reward and fulfillment and like just like abundant joy knowing that I'm being like fully utilized and what these unique gifts and talents, passion that the Lord gave me are being used and shared, not for my gain, but for a much greater purpose.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm saying like this is such a slogan for anyone, for a God-fearing Christian woman. But it's actually like it's my greatest dream and ambition, like fully realized right now as a working mom of 4 boys.
And motherhood kind of led you there, right?
Motherhood
Because you left your other career for
led me
motherhood,
there.
and then
And for the longest time, for
his plans are always better than ours.
amen.
Always.
True. So often we'll sit in our low points and just look for the answers. Like look for someone invite me to dinner, someone invite me to Bible study, someone come and ask me to help do flowers for an event. And I think what I hear all of you guys saying is you have to open yourself up to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we feel more alive like when we use our strengths. Like those are kind of some of our talents. And there's a lot of ways to use those in motherhood. And I think those are some of the best ways to bear fruit with your strengths. But again, that one thing can't be everything. And the answer isn't, well, then I can't be a mom. I'm just going to get a nanny. I'm going back to work. But we're trying to talk about how do you merge the two together.
Everything can coexist.
I do think your kids need to be first. I think the development of your children, they need to feel like you are available. They can't just talk on your timetable.
That's scientifically been proven, actually.
As a mom, you need to learn to just be constant, and to be available and not just say, what do I feel like doing? But the pure fact is we have gifts and talents, and using those in our home is amazing. But then whatever our sphere is, so it might not be, getting in your car and driving 30 minutes to an office, but what are other ways it has looked like what it looks like for you?
Yeah, I cannot wait to hear.
Here's why. If you pray and if you listen, it'll come. And this is why. Like this work I do with foster kids, I never thought about it.
How did you find that?
No. My husband was talking to somebody at work. And this person said, well, I do this. And he came home and he said, you'd be good at this. Right. And I just feel like, how I got so involved in the church? I was very quiet. I would just go to mass and leave. But I would go to daily mass. And this is what way back we had a deacon. And I'd go to daily mass every day. I'd sit there really quietly and I'd leave. And this deacon started noticing me. And he asked me if I wanted to read. I'm like, no. But then he eventually asked me to volunteer for him. And that beget this path into this St. Anne's and meet, because I wasn't going to put myself out there. I wasn't going to go introduce myself. But if you pray and you listen and you wait for the Holy Spirit, he will show you the way. And you just have to be patient about it. Because everything that I've stumbled into was not necessarily on my initiative, but it just kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah.
You know?
That reminds me too of this is the Bible verse everyone knows, but where it says like, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be opened unto you.
It's a good one.
But it's and it's kind of cliche, and we would all say, oh yeah, of course. But think about it. It's like saying, like you want all these things, or maybe you ask, but you ask in a way that you're saying, I don't have it. Like you're kind of saying, I don't have this, I don't have that.
Yes.
But like ask and then seeking. Like, how are we looking for ways to feel alive in the ways that we're like in the kind of frustrating parts of our lives? And then what are we knocking on? You know, I think so often we stay home. It's like saying your TV's broken or something. And every day you sit down and like the TV's not working or the washer or whatever. But you're not asking someone to fix it. You're not seeking, you're not going online, you're not going to the store to shop for a new TV or whatever, and you're not knocking on any doors or opening anything. You're just every day saying, my TV doesn't work, I wish it worked. Like that's not a way to fix it. And I think without realizing, we get into these victim mentalities.
Oh yes.
That like everyone, like other people are busy, or oh, life was better here, or even if it's you're really busy. Maybe it's not that you're bored. Maybe it's that things are super crazy and you can't catch a break. And then just expecting it to organically happen somehow, like just to come and fall on your lap with this answer without asking the Lord what to do, without seeking, which means like, how are we going out to our community, the world around us, even deeper into our family unit, like to see what we could do. And then knocking, like, can I do this? Can I do that? Or if there's certain events that we like, or again, same with the home. Like if you wish your kids had more friends because you remember playing and riding bikes, you know, when you were little, instead of waiting to just receive, how are we going out in our everyday life and knocking on doors to find friends? I'm not physical.
That's so true.
Really. It could be a physical door, but you know, really looking for those answers ourselves. Are we like? I'm surprised as I was listening to us talk, how little when in my frustrations I look for answers. I seek out. I ask the Lord. I will lean on the Lord that I'm having a hard time. So I feel like in that I feel like I'm including Him, but I'm kind of realizing I don't know that I always.
Listen,
ask,
and listen for His response.
Seek something.
Right, active verb.
And knock. Like those are so active. Like you can't just expect a pizza to show up at your front door if you never called for it.
Right.
It makes me think of, y'all remember growing up, maybe it was just me in the Midwest. There was always that joke of like, a man was in a flood and like rescuers came and he's like, nah, I'm okay. God's going to save me. Then like the flood got higher, a boat rescue came and they're like, get in the boat. And he's like on his like second story. He's like, no, God's going to rescue me. I have full faith. I'm good. And then he's on the roof and a helicopter comes and he's like, no, God's going to rescue me, whatever. So he drowns and then he gets to heaven and he goes, God, you didn't rescue me. He goes, I sent you 3 avenues.
Boom.
You didn't do anything.
He wasn't listening.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
so
think of that.
So are there any things like that real time that y'all can think of that you sort of miss doing something that you've done before, that you have a strength that you feel like really makes you feel alive, but you haven't been using it? Are there like, is there any just real time like development of what could you do?
Yeah.
Like, could you process that out loud with us?
For me, the music has been a part of my life forever. I come from a family of musicians. I grew up
I think I knew that.
playing.
I didn't either.
Grew up playing.
You're an artist.
I was in a high school band, and I went to public school.
What'd you play?
I played the flute. I made the all-city band. I thought I was going to go to college on a music scholarship. I went to a great music school, but I didn't go for music. I went for journalism.
Okay.
But yeah, music is just not something I've really been able to touch ever since becoming a mom, because music is something like if you don't use it, you lose it kind of thing, or it may be at the level that I want to be at. So, I mean, I still have my flute.
Okay.
It's pretty, I have 2 flutes actually. It's pretty dusty. But after having each child, especially during the newborn days when I'm really just at home and I'm breastfeeding and just trying to, keep your head above water, I played my flute.
Did you?
Right before and after every delivery.
Oh, I love
I would play the flute. I mean, I'm definitely not like the concert flautist that I once was, but
it's a good memory.
It's something I don't ever want to lose. But I hope one day.
I hope memory for your kids.
Yes, and I hope that they look to music one day too. But it's not something I get to dabble in really much anymore. It's just for me, for my kids. It's at home. And it's great. I'm okay with that. I don't know if I answered your question. But that was on my heart.
I mean, the possibilities are endless, and I think that our challenge for y'all as our friends is just to think of the things that make you feel alive, the things that God specifically gifted you with, and how can you how can you use those in your sphere of influence? Like, it will be your family first, and then your family's activities, or your church, or your neighborhood, or a cause that you like. Like, everybody needs an extra pair of hands or needs a talent, and God has a plan. Like, he made us, we always say, we're fearfully and wonderfully made, like, and it's to be part of this unit of our family and the world around us. And I would just love to give you a little homework, but just to challenge, like, find something, like, think of something that makes you really feel alive and that God has gifted you with, like your strengths, and really find a unique way to ask him how to use those. And then seek ways to use those strengths that make you come alive, and knock on doors. Like, try to email, reach out to things, call places, gather people, host something, offer talents for, do a newsletter. I don't know. Like, there's so many. We're all made to work together. Like, we're a huge community of moms, of people, and people could use your strengths out there more than you know.
Amen.
And your family could use your strengths. It's not just doing the daily grind, but I think you could really be a blessing to your family as well, doing something that's uniquely you and adding that to the day.
So thank you. Thank you so much. We know how truly busy you all are. I mean, we're living it too. So thank you. Let us come to you. Let us come to you on your busy day. And for those of you who follow here on YouTube, continue to follow, like, subscribe. We're on Spotify as well.
Or you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or at themomcollective.org.
And if you've enjoyed the show or what we have to say, please feel free to share it with your friends and anybody you know who might be interested.
And until we talk again, just remember, you were handpicked for this. So lean in. God bless. Bye-bye.